Hi everybody, welcome to yet another video. So today I'm just doing a quick revisit on the Sata 4400B. So the little Sata, the current Sata Minijet. And the reason for doing this video is, well, I actually did the video last year, I think. I haven't actually got a date. I make notes at the time of doing the video and I haven't put a date on there, but I'm from memory, it was sometime last year I did the video. And the reason for doing it was I swapped a few messages with one guy in particular, two people actually, but one guy in particular, and he was saying that, well, they were both saying the same thing, but one was saying it more forcefully, that I was quite hard on the little Sata Minijet because of the way I criticise it for having the control knob that's right by your thumb for controlling the fan, you see. And it got us talking, you know, it's all amicable, etc. It got us talking and swapping messages, really. And I mean, I could understand a bit of what he was saying. He was saying he mainly uses it for wheels. That's what he does. He refurbishes wheels, and he said that he can like do a set of wheels with it without having to stop using the gun. He can simply just, you know, easily adjust the fan, which you can do with a lot of guns actually. I mean, I've got quite big hands, so it's quite possible to move that thumb up around where the normal fan control is on most guns, which is like at the top. So to me it's probably not, you know, a huge advantage anyway, but he was pointing out the fact that it was a real advantage to him to be able to change the fan size very easily and consistently, so he can keep spraying and just change the fan size as he goes along. And it got me thinking, really, because I haven't used this gun for quite a while because of the things I've said about it before. My thumb keeps hitting the control knob. The control knob's very easy to actually turn, so it just, you know, it changes the fan pattern when you don't want it to, and that changes a lot of things. You know, if it goes from a full open fan to a closed fan, you can see on this the fan is actually very big, to a closed fan. It also ups the pressure and it just changes things. It completely changes the way the gun lays material down. So I thought, well, I'll dig it out. As I say, this was last year, but I thought, well, I'll dig it out and I'll have a little play with it. So that's exactly what I did. So I got it out, just spraying the tank, which is actually a Honda colour, Honda blue, and I thought to myself, well, I'll give it as much as I can, an open-minded chance, and to see, you know, what we're talking about, really, or what I'm talking about. To the extent I know anyway. Another thing that came up, this is with somebody else, was that I often use this at about 2 bar for clear coat, and the guy was saying that, one chap was saying 2.5 bar is what Sata recommends, which is actually what they recommend, but I've never really found a need to use it that high. So I thought, okay, well, we'll play by the game. I wasn't going to use it for that high for base coat. So we're doing the base coat, as I say, a Honda blue. The base coat, I've kept the settings at 2 bar, so 29 PSI for you guys in the US. And for the clear coat, I've done that at 2.5 bar, which is about, what's that, about 36 PSI? Somewhere around there. And it did actually make a difference. I mean, I've never thought this was a bad gun anyway, as far as laying material down. But it was also used in conjunction with a different clear coat, the Mix2, which at the time I was experimenting with the Mix2, the MIPA CX4, the U-Pole cheap clear coat that I use most of the time. And what was the other one? There was another one as well. Oh yeah, the 6030 Capsy. So I was experimenting with those four at the time to do a clear coat comparison, which I'll put a link in the description. It's already done and up on YouTube. I'll put a link in the description to that if you want to see what I'm on about. Although for that comparison I didn't actually use this gun, but it was during the time that I was trying out the different clear coats to see which one I thought was the best, because it's not just a case of doing a video and telling you about it. Obviously you've got use them for a little while to get to know them. So that was the whole idea of it. Anyway, so I used the gun on 2 bar, as I say, for the base coat, and it's always been a very good base coat gun. This is the RP version. They make a HVLP and they make an RP. I've got the original is an RP. The gun I bought, I've only got one of these, and I bought it as an RP, but I've since got different tip sets. So I've got 2 RP tip sets. I've got a 1.0, a 1.4, and the 1.2 I actually bought it with. And I've also got some HVLP tip sets, and I think 1.2 and 1.4. I didn't pay full price for them. I got them for about 50 quid on eBay. You get them come up sometimes, a lot of the time unused. I just stick a bid, my maximum bid, leave it, and then all of a sudden something pops up and said you've bought something. That's how I work. So I don't get involved really in any sort of like bidding wars and end up like £100 or whatever for a tip set. That's what I do anyway. But one of the other misconceptions that's come up a few times with people mention about Satas is saying that, apparently the RP and the HVLP, the threads are different in the tips, and this goes for the 5,000, 5,500, all the Sata guns, or the current Sata guns anyway, and they're not. The threads aren't. They're exactly the same. So the bodies are the same apart from the markings. You can actually, as long as you change the tip and the cap, and the needle is actually the same, although it's marked differently, but as long as you change the tip and the cap, you will get a HVLP or an RP. So, to cut a long story short, we're using it in the RP version for base coat and for clear coat. Normally, the RP version is recommended for clear coat, which is obviously it's actually what we're doing now. Now, this is where I crank the pressure up, and I must say, with the MM2 and this gun cranked up to 2.5 bar, so 36 psi, it was absolutely cracking. A really good gun, and I've always said it's actually a good gun. It's very universal. It just used to really wind me up. But you'll see the way I hold it, or try and hold it anyway, is I just keep my thumb away from the knob. Now, if I was doing, well, I suppose you wouldn't do big items with this really, because it's only a minigun. Although it's a minigun with a bit of a clout, because you see the size of the fan. It's got quite a big fan on it, which is probably the biggest of the miniguns I think that I've got within reason. I think it probably is. It's a very big fan, very much an eye pattern, so it's not a super wet pattern, but very good for quite fine atomization. But you'll find that the thicker clear coats, so with the U-pole that I normally use, this doesn't perform so well, but with most of the other clear coats, which seem to be thinner, it actually works very well. So it's actually I think I'm going to say it again, it's actually a really good gun. Spoilt by the knob, and I still maintain it's spoilt a bit by the knob, and many more people have messaged me to agree with me about the knob rather than disagree. But it's just, as I say, I got a couple of emails on the bounce, or not emails, messages on Instagram, to say that they'd watched the video and they didn't agree with what I was saying about the knob. They thought the knob was perfectly placed and really good. But I don't think you can argue with the results. Whether the knob's in the way or not will depend, the way you spray and obviously the size of your hands. But as I say, with the combination of the higher pressure in the MM2, it was an absolutely cracking finish. There's a couple of small nibs which would need to be removed, but otherwise I thought it was a really good finish. Lovely gun to use, apart from that little knob. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll keep them coming if you keep watching them. If you are enjoying the videos, maybe think about giving us a subscription. I'm sorry I haven't got a few more up. I've got loads of videos done that need sort of editing and voicing, but real life gets in the way sometimes. I've had a few mechanical problems on some of our vehicles, so I've had to do that, and it all takes time, and it doesn't really leave much time for doing this bit where you sit down, voice it, and edit it all up. But yeah, I really am trying to get a few more up, and hopefully that will come to fruition. But as I say, I don't think you can disagree with this. Lovely colour. What have I got? I've got it written down what it was. Oh, this is 1.4, by the way. I will put that in the description anyway. It's Honda B575P, which is classed as a blue steel night. But yeah, really good. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Bye bye.